up and running. All right, guys, this is our Economic Crisis Initiative, and we are recording. Presently, we have Jason Murray, our expert, and he will, tell you his title. We have the Urban Cinderella, aka Miss Sandy, on, who's on mute, and we have Ty Sumter. We call her Ty. Hey, and we're trying to get this thing on record because we want to be able to disseminate the information and share this information with the rest of the group. And hopefully when we get a bigger platform, guys, we'll be able to have like a documentary of the beginning steps of the Economic Crisis Initiative, because we're all going to get our lives in order so that we can help others, right? So that's the goal. Jason Murray, take it over for what you were sharing from this past week, and great information, and let's talk.
Certainly. So it all begins with the financial checkup. So that was one of the first documents that I shared with the group in terms of really just taking an assessment. It's kind of like a 6-part assessment of your discretionary income. Do you have an emergency fund in place? What is your debt situation looking like? Additionally, do you have retirement planning in place, or investment, or even savings to put together to purchase a home? Anything that pertains to a goal. Do you have the proper protection to protect your assets, protect your income if you have dependents that are dependent on you, or if you're a homeowner, that's an asset that you want to protect. All right, so having the proper protection. And then, can we outpace inflation? Outpacing inflation means not just keeping all our assets in the bank and not always keeping our assets in deferred compensation plans or deferred type of plans where you don't pay the taxes now, but you pay the taxes later on a larger amount. And then lastly is estate planning. Do we have a proper will in place? Making sure that if we amass a certain amount of wealth, can we pass that down to the next generation? So that financial checkup really takes a look at where we're at, and then putting a plan of action as to where we want to go. Then when we talk about or think about, all right, what is the current crisis of most people today? Most people today are in debt. Most middle income or lower income Americans are in debt because they don't have an emergency fund put in place. If an emergency comes up, they're using their credit card. Credit cards have a higher interest rate. So if you're servicing too much debt, it prevents you from growing your assets. So as individuals take a look at that financial checkup, see where they're at, take a look at their debt position, and so let's say the average debt load is $10,000, right? So for most people, that is it, about $10,000. So if we put a goal in place and we want to educate people, how can we eliminate that $10,000 in debt? So we want to be specific. How can we eliminate that $10,000 in debt? And then if we have less debt service, then we can put more money towards either protection of our assets, either growing our assets, outpacing inflation, or planning for retirement. So if we want to educate people and put a workshop together, the focal point can be, how can we lower debt and increase assets? Because there are 2 ways to increase our net worth. Either you can increase your assets or you can lower your debt. So if we as a community lower our debt and increase our assets simultaneously, then we can narrow the wealth gap. So the goal is, the ultimate mission is assisting our community in narrowing the wealth gap through education, through entrepreneurship education, through financial literacy, and cooperative economics. We have to put a plan in place in order to do it. But first we have to know a starting point of where we're at. And if we don't know a starting point of where we're at, then we don't know where we're going. So if we were to put together from a standpoint of addressing an economic need or a crisis, and we identify debt management as that crisis, let's educate on lowering the debt, but simultaneously let's put a plan of action. So that's why I put in the chat today kind of like an example of what that means in real terms. Because I can say one thing, But if it doesn't relate to you, then it's not going to be as meaningful. So in the chat, I put down, whereas there's 3 different rules that you want to put in place. Put a plan in place. Definitely pay yourself 10%, all right? And then scale back, whereas you want the other 90%, you want to take that 90% and live off of 70% of that. So you're pulling back 20%. And then in that example, when you put it in real life, then you take that percentage of 20% and put it towards lowering your debt. So you're paying yourself first, simultaneously growing your assets and lowering your debt at the same time. So I wanted to give that life example. And if, say, someone is not making $4,000 a month, they may be making $3,000 a month, or they may be making $5,000 a month. The principle still stays the same. Just plug in the numbers of either 5,000, 4,000, or 3,000, or 2,000, whatever the net pay is. So you don't want to work on the gross pay, but work on the net pay. After taxes, whatever that number is, 10% of your net pay, you're paying yourself first. You're putting it away into an asset appreciating, an investment plan appreciating. You living off, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just going to say thank you so much for that, Jason. And when you share this information, especially, I love the cooperative, I guess I'm saying that correctly, cooperative economics, right? All of these great terminologies are new to like myself, for example, as well. I'm pretty much thinking the group as, too. So can you give us a couple of examples, Jason? Because we want to be informed, educated, and then have examples moving forward, because you're the genius and we just trying to learn. Right, Ty? Right, Sandy? I see them.
That's
like
a fact. That's a fact. He's spreading knowledge.
So cooperative economics basically means if we as business professionals have a source of a business that can fulfill implementing that plan of action, right?
Yeah.
We want to go to that Black-owned resource if we possibly can. Cooperative economics means identifying who in our community can fulfill a plan of action that we're looking to implement. So in my case, being a financial professional, I can help people set up a Roth IRA.
Right.
I can give you insurance protection, all right? Let's say we needed a catering service or a place to hold an event. We want to go to a Black-owned business that can do the catering, or a Black-owned business that can offer us the space to have the event. Those are examples of cooperative economics. Recycling our dollars within a network of people who have a same vested interest to educate, lower the wealth gap through cooperative economics.
I love that, Jason. And at this time, since Jason has another meeting set up, ladies, if you have any questions about anything that was shared today in the group chat or within the past couple of days, this is definitely the time. And then, we're going to take a few seconds to talk about some of those things. And then we're going to talk about that workshop that Jason just brought up and I've been sharing about as well. So ladies, go ahead if you have any questions, because this information is so amazing, but I want you all to ask anything you have, going on in your minds.
So how you doing, Mr. Jason? All right, how you doing, everybody? Matter of fact.
Hi, Ty.
Hey, yeah. So my question is, when you begin to speak about these platforms, just like you said, we don't really know these things. This is the first time that we are hearing about these things. The first time that we hearing this terminology. And, for a youth, because, that's my aspect point, to walk into a room and to hear those things could be a little intimidating. So as I heard you speaking, I started to think about what could be the entry levels to those missions. You know what I mean? So that, I might have an 18-year-old that wants to learn about financing, but that's not in debt yet. So I don't really need to get out of it, but maybe we could teach them how to avoid it. I want to know, does he have any, ways that he can teach me, teach us, teach the group that we can implement, so I could put in, so that I could try to get the youth to get to know before they get to that point where they have to retract and backtrack and fix it in the future.
Oh,
yeah,
that's why we're here.
That's a great question. So one of the basic things that we can teach the youth, yourself and other peers that you may want to get educated about it, is a basic rule of the rule of 72, right? So the rule of 72 says if you divide the interest that you're earning on your money by 72, it will determine how many years it's going to take your money to double. So if you're putting your money in the bank and you're saving your money, you're doing that because that's all you know. But if you had the ability to earn, let's say 8% on your money or 12% on your money, right? So if you put that same rule of 72, earning 8% on your money, divide that 8% into 72, then your money is doubling every 9 years.
Wow,
so it's doubling a lot quicker versus in the bank is doubling every 72 years. So I have abilities to have the youth 18 above start out with an investment account, put in $25 a month away. And you take it out of your bank account, you put it in a checking account, and we can see that they're earning no interest on the checking account. Have that money go from the checking account to an investment account, and there's no guarantee on what you're going to earn on it, but you put that $25 a month each and every month, and then if you could increase it to $50 a month, and then we can just how compound interest over a period of time helps people become wealthy. So just that simple principle of don't save your money, but invest your money.
Because you know what, that's funny that you said, because I'm very much one of those people. I will save a lump sum of money in the bank. Don't really know what to do, because I'm a miser. I don't like to spend. I feel like it's always going to be a rainy day tomorrow, so I like to be prepared. But what you're saying is very effective for people that are people like me that don't have the knowledge that, okay, my money been sitting there for 2 years. I got $5,000 that I could have done made X, Y, and Z off of that. You understand? So I believe that is a beautiful intro. So we could I'm gonna definitely take that and start looking into some institutions where we could put this $25, $50.
Well, and that's why we're here too, Ty. And that's why it's such a blessing to have, this group formulating, right? And I'm so happy that you asked the type of questions, because obviously I think some of us are in this, well, a lot of us, not some, a lot of us are in that exact same predicament. And that's my biggest thing. And Jason often reminds me, Anaya, it's not okay for these things to be happening to you. So therefore, we have to take the reins and we have to go forward with people like Jason that actually care about us. Yes. Oftentimes, Jason. Right? Oftentimes people don't care. You go, and I mean, like you, and I'm not rich or nothing, but I probably could be with the amount of money I be saving.
Right?
It takes 72 years. I may be dead. Hopefully I'll live to be 72, but holy cow, right? We have to know how to multiply that money right now so that we can leave a legacy. And that's why this is so key and effective, and I'm so appreciative. But Sandy, do you have any questions? Because the workshop is gonna be next, because we wanna be able to spend time together, me, you, and Ty after Jason leaves, but we wanna talk about that workshop too.
I mean, what I really want to know, because the whole point of being in the group is helping yourself. Don't even come over here. Helping yourself before you could help somebody else.
We can't see you, boo. We can't see you, sorry.
Come on, man. I was trying to be incognito.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad.
We can hear her. We can hear
you. Hi, Storm. Okay, sorry, Sandy. You're cute, girl. Go ahead. Sorry.
So that's what I'm really interested about, because that's been like kind of like my dilemma. Well, because everything else that everybody's talking about is owing money. And me, I was living in America like in a matrix for a long time, because I wasn't a resident. So everything that I've done in my life, and I got my green card, it was late in the game. So everything that I've done in my 20s was working with companies that knew I didn't have it. So they decided to pay me when they wanted to pay me, and they would never pay me my worth and things like that. So and everything that I did, I just paid cash for it. Like that's, and my mom is old school like that too. So like, if you need to buy it on credit, then you can afford it. Like down me, it's not meant for you to have. So I've always had that. But we live in a society where that's not the game plan anymore. So buying everything in cash, unless you got beaucoup money. But as far as like buying stuff and not owing anybody, I guess now it's not the way to go. So now I'm in a place where, okay, I don't owe nobody any money, but yet I don't have any credit and I can't do anything because I don't have any credit. But me not owing nobody is not being accounted towards me not having being a good money wise person. So I just want to kind of now I just want to move my life to that space of being financially responsible in the sense of being able to play in that field.
So as I mentioned in the chat, there's some safe ways that you can begin to establish your credit. One of the safest ways to establish credit is called a secured credit card. So a secured credit card would be, let's say you take $1,000 out of your bank account and you put it into a card as a credit card, but it's a secured credit card. So that's your credit limit. And you utilize that credit card to maybe purchase things. You can purchase food with the card. You can purchase, items here and there and then pay it off at the end of the month. But what you're doing is it's a credit card, but the money's already there. So as you build up your credit, then you can then take out a credit card. All right, that's one of the safest ways to start building up your credit, especially if you don't necessarily need credit because you have an emergency fund. All right, so that's one way you can build up your credit. You can also, let's say, Home Depot, Lowe's, or those cards that you can utilize. Let's say if you needed some household items that need to be repaired, you get the credit card, you buy it on the credit, and then you pay it right off. So building your credit is timely payments, length of time in the credit history, and your utilization of the credit. So if your credit limit is $2,000 and you use $1,000 of that credit, you have a 50% utilization. Keeping your utilization down 25% to 30% gives you a proper utilization of credit that builds your credit. If your credit is maximized, then a high utilization brings your credit score down. Does that help?
Yes, but the thing was, when I was kind of because grasshoppers like me, you can't drop me in any field because then I'm I don't know what's the real plant to eat, so I might just die. So it was actually trying to figure out what was the best secure card to use.
I could do some research on it for you. I haven't advised people on secure credit cards in quite a while. Unfortunately, most people have extensive credit card debt. So I'm advising people how to lower the debt. I don't come across many people that don't have any credit card debt, that just have cash. That's a good problem to have. But the problem for you though, let's say you want to buy a house, you don't have a credit history. So you want to start building up a means of having a credit history to put yourself in a position to build up your credit.
Love that. Love that. And you know what? We're going to come back to that, Sandy. So write that down for the workshop. Real quick, before you leave, Jason, before you leave us, we have Mimi, who just joined us all the way from Toronto, Canada. And she's an expert in this game, Forex. But let her introduce herself because she hasn't been on with us yet. So I wanted her to do a quick intro. And then Mimi, after you introduce, we're going to talk about the workshop. Jason has to leave, but the rest of us can stay on, Mimi, if you're able to, for just a few minutes, and then we'll plan another meeting. But go ahead, Mimi.
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here tonight. Nice to meet you all and see you all. I'm here in Toronto, Canada. I was in Harlem. I've been back and forth from like 2013. I started an online marketing business, but ended up coming here back home, started a law firm about 7 years ago. So I deal with mostly criminal, civil claims. I do a lot of like incorporations and trademarks. 2 years ago, I joined a team of people to help educate others of how to become more financially fit to kind of build a wealth-life balance system. I'm not sure if you've heard of the company. It's called InvestView. It is based out of Utah. And what the company does is it provides education in the different markets. We also have cryptocurrency applications, artificial intelligence and machine learning applications, as well as also a debit product that is partnered with Visa, and we utilize our cryptocurrency through that. So I really resonated to what you were saying. I know I caught the last bit of, you know, you explaining the benefits of this particular vehicle, this card, Jason, but I'd love to chat with you more when you have more time. Pleasure to be here. I'm very involved in my community in Toronto. I can't wait to come back home to New York when the pandemic is a bit more manageable. I do consider both cities home. I was born Midwest in Canada. I lived in the UK. That's where I grew up. And my parents are Sri Lankan, so we were back in Sri Lanka for a short period of time in my youth. But now I'm here in Toronto. Can't wait to return back to New York and meeting you wonderful people. Just opening my network.
Great. So
Yeah.
are you still practicing law, or you?
Yes, I am.
So you are still practicing law. You're educating people with finance, and the finance education is broad-based, financial education, cryptocurrency, digital assets, and so forth, and
Absolutely.
the like.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. Are you on LinkedIn?
Yes, I am. My name on LinkedIn is, my government name is Mishka, Mishka. It's a Russian name. And my last name is Nizar, Nizar.
N-I?
So, Z.
Z,
Yeah.
Mimi, you have to translate into Brooklyn Night.
I know,
Okay.
I know.
All right, I'll extend a LinkedIn invitation to you.
Please do. Okay, wonderful.
All right, perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome. So Mimi's like, I think one of our newest members, no, Kenyon is, but either way, I'm so happy Mimi was able to join us tonight because of the information that we're sharing. And Jason, I know you have to head off pretty soon, but please, one of the key factors of tonight was, you know, starting the ball rolling with the workshops that we're going to be putting into place very soon, guys. And so that's why we wanted to talk about what Jason was stating earlier before Ty got here and Mimi got here. Jason, what we talked about the other day is the basics of the workshop, correct? Please break it down a little bit, and then you can, you know, do your thing, and then I'll try to fill in the blanks.
Yes, the recommendation of the workshop, I was thinking in terms of, there's two ways that people can increase their net worth. They could either increase their assets, and there's traditional means of increasing your assets, and there's alternative means of increasing your assets, or you can lower your debt. Lowering your debt can mean a lot of things. It could be credit card debt. It could be student loan debt. It could be lowering your mortgage payment. All right, so you have fixed debt, and then you have variable debt. Your variable debt is your credit card debt. So a mixture of credit card debt and our fixed debt, your average individual has about $10,000 worth of debt and high interest credit cards. So the focus can be, how can we simultaneously lower our debt and increase our assets? So Mimi, she actually brought up a great point, and I actually was on a workshop conference the past 2 days, and was Bitcoin for advisors. Bitcoin for advisors. So myself as an advisor, my platform, we don't have digital assets on my platform, but it is becoming more available in different segments of our economy. It's not regulated, so it's not necessarily widespread. So that's why me, as representing Trans-American Financial Advisors, I can't offer that. But yet I have to educate myself with that in case I get questions from potential clients. I actually lost a client the other day because he's on the real estate and took some of his money out of one of our accounts to purchase some real estate. He was going to put it back within the 60-day period. But when I advised him, he was asking me about cryptocurrency and this and that. And I have a high level overview about it. But the fact that I wasn't able to offer him an investment on my platform, he didn't put the money back. So what did he do? He probably put that money somewhere else that offered him what he wanted. So that's what that Bitcoin conference was about in terms of just educating more financial advisors like myself, just so we're aware. So Mimi, I would love to just connect with you, being that you're working in that space more, currently, just
Absolutely.
to increase my knowledge base. All right?
I would love to. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
So I've got to go.
Okay, so
I've gotta
Jason
go.
has to go, but you four ladies, you could stick with me for a little while. We're gonna planify this workshop, Jason. I already have the information. I love that idea for us to get things started because it's fundamental. Let's increase that money, let's decrease the debt. How about that, huh? Let's start there. And then we can get into the other stuff later. Thank you, Jason.
Have a good evening, ladies.
Thank you, Jason. Have a good evening.
Bye.
All
care.
right. So
Bye-bye.
Jason is going to leave us now. And of course, we will be able to send him the updates as well as communicate. I love, love, love what's happening. And again, we're recording this, ladies, so that we can have, first of all, the notes for later. And then secondly, I'm foreseeing greater things coming from this group of like-minded individuals. So the next steps is, when we talk about increasing wealth and knowledge and building ourselves up, like everybody has a different circumstance in a situation, right? So what we're looking to do is start with the basics because even though I know Sandy, well, I've known Sandy for just a little bit, but I didn't know that that was her circumstance, and that breaks my heart. But it's exciting to know that Sandy's a part of a group now and, we can work together to help her make her dreams come true, right? As we're working with Sandy, we're also going to be bringing in Ty's community and then Mimi's community. And we all can literally work together and merge all of our ideas and our ideals in such a way, and we can take baby steps. I'm into starting off small and actually having progress go along the way instead of just starting off crazy big, all these crazy ideas. Because let's think about it in life, there are stages, right? So that's why, we sent off that financial checkup because we don't call it the budget. We don't want to scare anybody, but that financial checkup that was emailed, Mimi, I don't think you got it yet. So I will send that to you because I don't think you ever
I'll
got
send you
it.
my email address now.
Okay, excellent. And then everybody else got it. It's not for us to look at your budget at all. So you keep that for yourselves so that you can know where you are, because just like Jason broke it down, matter of fact, it's more detail oriented than I even imagined, in doing budgets and financial checkups or what have you with the banks and the different people I work with, it's very cut and paste, very simple. But this one is pretty intense. And I like that because it gives you so many different ways to look at money and break off those fears. Let's be realistic, right? What we're discussing and what we're looking to do is very scary because we're looking at ourselves and trying to fix ourselves. And then eventually we hopefully will become leaders and teachers of what we're learning. For me, this is not easy because just like Ty, you could be saving money somewhere and you have no clue what the hell's going on, right, Ty? And you're like,
That's right.
I want to be a multimillionaire one day like these other people, but I don't know the first steps to do it. I thought saving money was the plan, but it's so much more than that. And so I'm so thankful for you ladies and for the gentlemen, but of course we're trying to get it together with the people to all be on the same page. In the interim, we have a few more moments. I wanted to ask you, because I am just a vessel. So I ask a lot of questions and I want you to implement your ideas and thoughts. As you know, we're looking to increase wealth, decrease debt. That's going to be like the theme of the first workshop, right? What are some of your ideas? If you want to write them down and then send them in an email, right? I think that'll be super dope. Or you can talk about them now. Either way, we can do either or. And then also some dates and times you think that will work out for you, because we want to be on this page together as we work towards financial freedom. Ty, you had something you were thinking about, because I saw this. I love when Ty does this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree absolutely with what you were saying. Like I said, we have Jason, which is a pleasure because he gives us the umbrella of everything that we need as well. With Mimi, now we have two people that can give us, he's the more traditional, which I love that. And she's like the up and coming, and you smash that together, it's kind of inevitable to win, And like you said, when you come to these things, it's scary, one, because people don't know. Like I said, people get intimidated by things that they don't know. And when you're investing, there's always a risk to lose. So if you only have $25, you invest 10 and you lose it, it's kind of a hard place, especially during the pandemic, especially in the environments we live in and things of that nature,
Yeah.
It becomes a difficult place. So people really get turned off by that aspect. Everybody wants to gain, but not everybody wants to lose. So I feel like definitely going forward with beginning at the small steps, like you said, to see progress, to learn step by step things that, we could counter, you feel me? And we can help other people counteract their fears on by learning from the basis, instead of saying, superfragilocalidocious, you're more like, okay, this is great, this is awesome, this is perfect, keeping it more simple so that people can be more receptive to, and that's what when I think of it, because like I said, I'm thinking of the youth basis, and I want them to have something that they'll be grabbing to. I hate when they, sitting there and it's like they're listening, but they're not listening. But if you could tell them, hey, take this $1, go to the store, you're gonna get $2, they're gonna go, So we gotta find a way to make it appealing, and I think that's by making it simple.
I love that. And just to let you know too, that's why you're here. When I first initially spoke about this at the meeting, you came right up to me and that just melted my heart, because here you are as a youth, you're in school and you care about your peers. You don't find that every day. So Ty really cares. And of course, we're going to have more time to share a lot more. I wanted to do a close by like 7:30 or so because of my show that I do every night at 8:30, which Mimi and Sandy.
I got to watch it one time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you could probably watch it tonight and I could shout you all out, because I would love to interview the whole group and do a panel, maybe break it up because there's a lot of us. But just to let you know, when you came up to me, Ty, that's what this is all about, right? Is those baby steps and just sharing knowledge little by little, so that people can feel comfortable in asking questions and saying, how do I be a part of this? What can I gain? Or how can we help one another? And so that right there was like why I do what I do. That's why Jason does what he does, because we know that nobody is going to be able to grasp this stuff overnight. So with that being said, that's why we're here, and I'm so appreciative of you. And another thing, in building, right, and taking those baby steps, we all have a network, right? Sandy is in the media and entertainment thing and out and about doing her thing. Mimi is the same, on her platforms. Ty, I don't know what your social media platforms look like because we haven't done that yet, but we're going to exchange that in a moment. Okay. But what I wanted to say is, once things get really rolling, we will be able to expand, right? And that's why I wanted to start with the workshop in the facet where it's just us as a group. Besides just having meetings, we'll be having concrete information disseminated, because next steps is sharing it with the outer world. And when I say outer world, our social networks. I alone have 5,000 friends on just my personal Facebook page. And I have several platforms, right? I can't share nothing of what we're doing yet, because my fear is the more people that start coming, the more it's going to, get crazy, right? So what we're gonna do is, after a couple of workshops, we'll be able to share now with our groups, right? But in the interim, my also goal is just to let you all know where our minds are, not only fixing ourselves, not only meeting the needs of our immediate communities, like the youth, like those that are wanting to learn more about Forex, like those that are maybe immigrants or they have no knowledge of credit and they want to build, etc., but then attracting those investors and those politicians as well as the celebrities, because once they see a grassroots operation really starting to develop its own image, face, etc., then that's when the attraction really begins to happen. So to let you all know, simply, this thing to me is so amazing what we have going on here. But of course, we're taking steps by steps in order to really go forward. Mimi, I see you thinking over there. What do you want to say?
Well, what I'm thinking right now is like, it's a small group of us tonight. There are people, everyone has their own strengths and weaknesses. Like someone's strength might be sales, someone's strength might be marketing, someone else's strength might be leads capture, but overall, all of our strengths are being great at building relationships, because we're all here on a Wednesday night, just try to make something happen because we have a bigger purpose, right? So I would love, like, I'm excited. I'm just trying to contain my excitement, and I would love to be like, maybe in that list, like whatever we email each other, to write down like what our strengths are and also what our weaknesses are, so we know how to pick each other up and we know how to fill in the gaps. Because usually with these things, and Anaya knows, it's always a core small group of people, and you're absolutely right. We can't put out the call out yet because the people will come, I'm sure there are other people, who would have wanted to be on tonight's call, and we'll catch up with the minutes and do their due diligence. But overall, like, I'm just excited to join forces. I feel like, I've been an entrepreneur now 8 years. I've seen, the lotions and potions, and I've also seen the different products and how people, get this money out here. But with the time we're in now, forget Bitcoin, like just looking at how the banks are moving, what's really going to be going by is not fiat currency, because fiat currency will always stay. It's the cards, it's the plastic. It's how are people going to be paying for their day-to-day items, and then their luxury items. Like there are certain companies out there that are accepting these like online currencies, and
Bitcoin,
even just looking at, the market, how the election has affected, and the new vaccine coming out. Like I've been doing a lot of reading of Stephen Hawking's work this last week, and it's just like talking about black holes and universes and, things coming together, and people just overall, I think, I'm in a room right now with you three, and the most important thing is to be able to laugh, laugh and enjoy life, be able to joke about it. Because like you said, the opportunities, there are certain words that already alarm people, like, oh, the fear is there, oh, scam, oh, this, oh, that. But, like, let's take everything with a positive mental attitude, like laugh about it, have each other as a community, and see what we can all do with each other. Because like, our goals are set. My goals are set personally. My goals are pretty big. I'm looking for people to also have big goals and get them together. So, when this is all over, we're like, okay, we're out on a yacht, boom, boom, private show, this and that. And like, it's just us. And we'll be like, remember that night in November when we were just all meeting for the first time? Yeah. And, this is what we came. So, I'm just really excited to be here and to get to know everybody, really, to like build a relationship. So you guys let me know like how I can follow you on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it is, and let's just start by supporting each other on there. Community is very important. It's and something that's needed to have anything grow. So I'm down. You just let me know where you need me, and I'm here for you guys.
And you know what? You hit so many great points with that. And I know Sandy has things going on in her head but she's with Stormy right now. So we're gonna let her whenever she's ready. We see you, boo, whenever you want to share your piece, because I see it. I see the smiles and the love hearts and all that boiling up, but I see Stormy too. So that's two great things that came out of what you said, besides everything else. Because I mean, that ending with the yachts, let's own the yachts too. So, okay,
Right?
that part.
Financially free, that's
Right, exactly. And so one of the things is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Whenever we do business, that's the four things that are automatic. So I love that. And what we can implement in the next email going out is everybody write out your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats before we even do the workshop. That's something I'm going to send out. And actually, we can share that with one another, because like you said, and then like what Ty said, and even with what Sandy was saying earlier, if we don't know each other's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, then what happens is we don't know how to help one another, right? So what we're doing is we're building a coalition, essentially. And then another thing is in the group chat or via email, if everybody wants to write out your social media information and everybody follow each other and all of that, let's do that as well. Because I am, and just to let you all know, I'm super open. Some people are like, you're so, like, people use you. I don't know if it was Sandy one day that was like, Anaya, it's actually a gift, you know, because like, I'm like, I want everybody to freaking strive and succeed, but people want to use and abuse me, you know, because they don't get where my heart is. And if we all work together as a people, we do a lot more together. Right. And so I'm thankful for that reminder, because sometimes I feel like I just give away everything. But you know what? And that giving is how we build. And the Jewish community, if you ever notice something about our Jewish brothers and sisters, that's all they do is give. If you look at the hospitals, I always share these examples. If you look at the hospitals, if you look at the libraries, if you look at any organization based upon the economic freedoms and all of these different institutions that give back, etc., they're coming from a Jewish corporation predominantly. And they know that key thing and that law of attraction is giving. So I want to leave you all with that thought process before we end tonight. As we're working on the workshop, as we're working on continuously to build, remember, there is a great thing in giving. And then it doesn't have to mean money. It could mean your time. It could mean information. It could mean so many different things. But Sandy, I see you over there, sister. Do you want to say anything?
Yes, what I wanted to say was, because when we spoke about the whole co-op economics, and this is like perfectly what I see all of us as, like, especially when Mimi said that we all, because without even, she said it, but I was already thinking it from jump, but it says like everybody have their strengths and their talents. So for all of us to come under this umbrella, and it, like, for me to get my money up and I go to her for, like, you know, because one thing I believe is like nobody is really broke. Like, money comes in everybody's hands. It's what we do with it when it comes into our hands. So if I know, like, oh, I got a couple dollars and I have a friend, or I have somebody who's literally in my corner to be like, yo, Sandy, you got $100, you know, this is what you could do with it. You got $2,000, this is what you could do with it. That feels good, instead of me having it. Like we said, we save it and we don't have this communication or this community where I could just reach out, or you always telling me like, girl, this is what, like, this is what you could do with 50 cents, you know. Then it helps to, I mean, I think it helps us to navigate even more. So when they talk about co-op, and then when I think about like the whole rebuilding of Black Wall Street, and we're thinking it's gonna be like this big thing, when at the end of the day, this is the rebuilding of Black Wall Street, at least to me.
Yes. No, you're right. You're right, sister.
So
Yeah,
like,
I think so too. Absolutely.
this is the whole co-op of economics, from what everybody else do, what I know how to do with that. Like, because I'm like, the barter system has been a life for me. Like, I will barter services, because I mean, when we think about like how our people survive with just bartering services, and I feel like this is a community where we could barter our service from talents that we have, like she said, or strengths or weaknesses and all that. So that's probably what I'm more excited about, like knowing like like I said, grasshopper, you know, like Kung Fu. He was a grasshopper. He was at Kung Fu fighting, but then afterwards it was like, yo, come for me. I got this. So that's where I'm at right now. You know what I mean? I'm in my grasshopper stage and I ain't scared no more. I already did my what should we call it? Here's my dirty laundry. I mean, it's so cute to be like we both.
I love it, and I love that you are feeling so optimistic and positive, and that's where it's at. And I love that you've gathered so much and you ready, because I feel like she ready. Like,
oh no, I've been ready, but and that's why, like, even with my platform, I like to, because sometimes people don't like to have a platform until they feel like they reach a certain level of something. But I'm like, yo, my platform is right where I'm at right now. So trust me, as long as you're alive and you taking it one day at a time, you are already winning.
That's it.
There's millionaires who jump.
I'm so happy I met you guys today.
Right?
Listen, we've been here, boo, and you know what? We're growing, and I'm so excited too. Like, your energy, ladies, is what makes me keep going and pushing me. And I was like, let me try Mimi, Carl, Sandy, Ty. Like, let's go, because sometimes, you know what? We need that extra push. And again, it's a fearful thing, but we are here together. So now that we know the dynamic and you ladies have met, and then wait till you meet the others, right? Because there's, right, Ty has met several thus far, but and you know what happens, because I guess, like, this is a dream and a vision I had so many years ago. It's like God already, or the universe, or whatever people believe in, started formulating the people for me, because I've been praying about this and wanting this to happen, and it's happening before my eyes. And I'm like, I'm so excited.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful, right? And that's what it's all about. So let's do this, because it's already 7:30. Oh, so we're gonna send emails, right, of each other's information, or message if you want to, or even, you know what, private message, etc., because we're a group dynamic. But you all can message each other or send it directly live, so the other people that are watching can start following you too. Because just to let you know, some of the group members are not as extroverted and as open as we are. I come to realize that through personalities, we'll have a different amount of people that are a part of this thing. So we have to just sometimes pull them in a little more, but that's okay, because I stay pulling them in. So so we'll share that openly, so those that are curious and that are probably more shy can look for themselves, right? So we'll do that. And then in the email, I'm gonna send out an email with everybody's information. Unless you wanna be BCC'd, let me know. But what I do is I copy everybody so we can all have each other's emails. And then what we'll do is send out the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, or whatever. And you guys can write those out so we can work together.
So right in the chat, right?
What is it?
You want us to drop those things right in the chat we're in?
Yeah. So the first part is your direct contact, like on social media, like your social media handles. And then in the email, we'll do the SWOTs, right? And everybody can see each other's. And then last thing, I do this thing on my platform a lot. It's the affirmations. In just a couple of minutes, let's close out with some affirmations. It's basically like a prayer, but it's like bringing in good vibes, right? Mimi has done this with me, I think, on my show a couple of times, but it's something that I've learned really opens my energy and God to hearing the great things that I want. So we're gonna just say a couple of affirmations. You ladies can follow me, or you can say your own in your head. We're gonna breathe in first, and then we're gonna release. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
I am a creative being.
I am a creative being.
I'm creative.
I'm heading towards financial freedom.
I'm heading towards financial freedom.
I am already rich.
I am already rich.
I am already rich, honey.
I am already wealthy.
I am already wealthy.
I am already wealthy.
I am living my best life.
I am living my best life.
I am living my best life.
There's nothing that can stop me.
There's nothing that can stop
There's
me.
nothing that can stop me.
We are winners.
We are winners.
We are winners.
I am a winner.
I am a winner.
I am a winner.
I am created for greatness.
I am created for
I am
greatness.
created for greatness.
We are created for greatness.
We are created for
We
greatness.
are created for greatness.
And that's where we'll stop for now. Ladies, be the best you can be. We're going to follow up in that message. I have goosebumps all over my body. Stormy, we love you too, baby. We see you. You are great and amazing, and we are appreciative.
Anaya, what's this? What did God create you for?
Yeah,
Greatness.
that's right, little man.
God created you for greatness. So,
That's right.
ladies and Stormy, I love him. He's the sweetest. I can't wait to see him again face to face. Listen, we're going to follow up. Be great. And
Okay.
Ty, I'm going to let you know what time is that show in just a moment on that group message. Let's stay in touch and let's rock on.
Yes.
All right, have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye.
Bless.
God created you for greatness, buddy. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got one from Summerhead.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye,
right,
sister. Bye, guys.
All right,
Take
later.
care.
Please don't tell me that. Please don't tell me nothing.
What, please?
I love him.